and I love Molly's flute.
I am the eyes and ears of this institution.
Mama, the right tackle dance.
Who knows? In 1,000 years, even you may be worth something.
Little hand says it's time to rock and roll.
Room for one more, honey.
Today we face the monsters that are at our door.
I think we live in overstimulated times.
Hands free. Okay. Oh, look. There. Oh, hi. There. Already getting error messages. That's good. Well, I'm not sure if it's on your channel, Randy, so we'll see. Hi, everybody in the chat. I love it. Abuse those emotes. Okay, so I am Molly. I grew up in Los Angeles. I'm safely here in the Midwest. I was a cop for a long time, and now I'm just a shit poster. And hi, Pammy. Already people in the chat over on Rumble and YouTube. Pammy's always holding it down over there. And I'm here with my friends. Hello, Randy, Joe Black. Introduce yourself.
Randy, I was a cop with Molly in Hollywood, former Marine. Appreciate Molly giving me the chance to share my whatever. Definitely appreciate the chat. I woke up in 2018 to all of these lies we're being told. Can't wait to hang out with you guys on this beautiful Friday.
Yay. And Chris, make new friends, but keep the old. Hi, new friend.
Hey, I'm Chris Leland, a lifelong Michigander. I was formerly a roofer for many years, and now I just kind of do any little menial tasks that'll pay. Just here to offer my opinion on the day's events.
I have a lot of menial tasks here.
Yes, I know.
Can I pay you to be my friend? Well, it's been a week. It's been Candace just went off the air, but there was a whole arc of chaos today, and it's getting really it's getting really wild. So I want to go over that, and I know we are just brimming with news stories this week, which is unfortunate. It'd be nice to just have a nice boring week where we have nothing to talk about. But if there's time tonight, I have some presents to e-gift the two of you from my over 400 strong shopping cart list on Temu, because I love garbage and I wanted to give you some garbage if we can get to that. Or I don't even know where we start with Candace, but on tonight's show, she said, she's talking about Ben Shapiro. She's calling him an imposter. She says, I am done with it. This one is so fully off the mother effing plantation. Let me put my glasses on. Truly, Ben Shapiro, fuck you and the midget horse that you rode in on. And I say that on behalf of the world. She said that tonight. I was like, oh my God. Did she just say that? It's getting it's getting wild. And okay, what have you guys seen? Where are you guys in this roller coaster?
I think that Candace's audience is probably a lot more genuine and real. And I don't know who keeps watching Shapiro. I have no idea. I would have to think it's probably an army of bots is how he has thousands or millions of viewers. I can't imagine they're even close in real life. So I don't know.
Well, that's funny that you say that, because she was talking about that tonight. She said that basically Ben Shapiro pays for people to go to his appearances and clap for him, and that he doesn't have any like real fans or anything.
Well, Molly took me to the People's Convention, and everyone's like, "Who's this guy?" So everyone's talking to me. So I went over the Turning Point USA booth, and they were like, "What was your wake up?" And I'm just chatting with them, and I mentioned Candace and I mentioned Ben Shapiro, and they just stopped talking. And I'm like, "Did I say something wrong?" And this is way before the whole beef thing. So I'm like, what was going on back then that you guys don't want to talk to me anymore?
And those were Turning Point chicks, right?
Yes. Turning Point girls. We shared the same skin color, and they were just done talking to me after I mentioned Ben and Candace.
And weren't they in a booth next to Blexit?
Yes.
The booth was next door to each other.
Yeah, it was Blexit. There was a young lady you talked to. She was really nice. I think she even prayed with me.
Turning Point Faith.
Turning Point Faith, yes.
That was a good, I mean, we had a great time. We saw so many speakers, and there was just a good vibe to it. It was very America first. There wasn't a whole lot of, politics and chaos. It was very celebratory. Nobody had to pay me to clap for anybody. So we were having a great time, making friends everywhere we went the whole weekend in Detroit, the People's Convention from Turning Point. And and then Charlie was there. He was taking a lot of questions. There was a bunch of political celebrities, or whatever you want to call it, that were chiming in, doing live questions with Charlie. And I don't know what, like, it was cool to follow Randy around, because he was like a superstar. He was getting asked to be on all kinds of podcasts, and like I was dressed like a toddler, just like, well, like I always dress, like just American flag me. And people wanted to take pictures with me, but they didn't care what I thought about the issues. They all wanted to talk to Randy. First of all, Pammy said that she's glad to be here. She was involved in a minor scary car accident a few hours ago with her sister, and we are all good, thank goodness. Oh my gosh, that's so scary. I actually, this is almost politics, got run off the road a couple of Saturdays ago by some fucking semi driver. He was pulling out. There was nobody behind me. A Saturday morning, it's cold as hell. I was coming back from my Amish milk. I wasn't going fast. I have not a care in the world. There was nobody behind me for 700 miles. And this guy was like, "Oh, I think I'll just pull out right now." And he takes up all lanes of traffic, including mine. And he's coming at me head on. And I'm like, "Oh my God." So I turned and I whacked the curb. And he gives me this, like, "Thanks," like, "Fuck you." And so now my rear brakes are making like all kinds of crazy noises, and like, what the hell? And I know we've been having a lot of problems with semi drivers getting licenses when they shouldn't be licensed. That dude should not be licensed at all. There's no way he needs to take up all lanes of traffic to do that maneuver. And if he knew he did, like, you have all the time in the world after my car passes. So, Pammy, I feel you. These fuckers, they really need to, I don't know. We need bubbles around us. Circle of One just let us all know that Shapiro is actually 3 raccoons in a suit. So that's good. I didn't even know that.
I don't mind you standing up for whatever, but I can't do the absolutism. Like, we were cops, and we will in a second dissect the mistakes they make. Chris was a roofer. He'll tell you all about housing and some of the stuff they've done wrong. This guy is just, they can do no wrong, and we know who they is. I actually don't have any issue with them. It's just, no one's perfect. You can't just, oh, they're perfect, they're perfect, they're perfect.
Yeah, well, so Tucker did get on the AmFest stage and did a speech, and he put it on his channel today. It was fantastic, and I think it was fantastic, but I also really love Tucker Carlson. So because he's so measured, he's so fair, and he's not like involved in all this dramatic political crap. And his speech was very America first, and like, why did we stray away from that? Wasn't that what MAGA was supposed to be? How can you make America great if you're not doing America first? And then he does allude to Candace by saying, like, there's nothing wrong with asking questions. Like, we need to ask questions. And he also talked about loyalty, saying, you know, if my brother was a mass murderer, he's still my brother. Like, the masses aren't going to convince me to not be loyal to somebody that I love. And I know that he and Candace have been friends for a long time. So I'm pretty sure that he talked about that. But then he also talked about those we cannot speak of, and talked about the USS Liberty in 1967. And so it was a little spicy. He did get a few digs in there to say, like, you know, turning point, I'm not going to, you know, slurp your Kool-Aid unapologetically and totally. So it was a good speech.
It was only after his death, or supposed death, or his death anyway, only after Charlie Kirk's death, did I know that he had spoke any opposition to Israel or anything. I thought he was totally on board for that, because many of the debates that I saw him in prior to that, he was kind of a, you know, a staunch kind of, you know, Israel Zionist supporter, and he did change his tune. And I don't know if that's necessarily what, you know, brought that conclusion or not, but it could have, but I don't know. I wouldn't go that far. There's a lot of players involved in that kind of stuff, and in the public theater and the spectacles and all that kind of thing, to make us all go nuts and hate each other. So it's far more than just one small group of people, I can assure you that.
True, very true. Yeah, you just have to question people. I mean, I love America. I really love America, but I hate our media. I hate Hollywood. That doesn't mean I hate America. So if you want to question the IDF or whomever, you should be allowed to. Same with Candace. Like, she spoke so highly of him. Like, she would start glowing. She was like, "There's this kid. He's so smart. He knows these books." And this is way before all of the fame and celebrity. Like, she just spoke. I told Molly this. So maybe 8 different things woke me up. One of the things that woke me up was Candace and Charlie were leaving I think they were going into a restaurant, and they were getting chased like it was the 1950s by all of these racist liberals. And I'm like, wow, okay, that's who I align with. A bunch of people chasing a black woman out of a restaurant. So those two have a lot of history.
And even online, because I'm still on Facebook, I kind of like the drama. But I belong to a couple of groups on there, punk rock conservatives and goths against cancel culture, because I was a teenage goth girl. And it's been really cool, actually. One, because there isn't the cancel culture aspect that we all came to know and love. I'm getting zucked a lot less error messages. They did amplify the amount of unsolicited schlongs from the Middle East that are flooding my DMs. But I'm not getting zucked as much. Bro, log in for me for 1 second. And now I just send them, like, they talk to me in whatever language, and I'm like, oh, sorry, I only speak English and cash. And then I send them my Cash App link. But I haven't gotten any money yet. So
Yeah, I'm not sure what changed, and I don't want to tempt fate, but I think after my 10th month-long ban, they stopped banning me. I don't know. I guess they just decided that kind of punishment isn't going to stop me from.
you're just on the list now.
Yeah, well, yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah, it's like my Instagram gets like hit all the time, and I'm only friends with like 5 people on there. Like nobody that I'm shit posting to doesn't think the same way that I think. So like, I don't know what you're doing. You're not going to change any hearts and minds. Rod's in the chat says Shapiro didn't like Charlie, but now he's acting like they were best pals. That's so annoying. Yes. And that was like such a high school thing too. It's like something would happen or whatever. And like, oh my God, I remember that one time that I asked to borrow his math homework. Like, you don't even know his name. Shut the fuck up. So, yeah.
Well, what about his real friends who are like, the night before he died, he really wanted you guys to buy my book, and it's like, did he really?
Yeah, dude, that was so ugly. And so a lot of ugly stuff has come out of this. Like now they're trying to allude that like Candace has always like secretly been in love with Charlie, and it's like, bitch. So and Candace brought it up because she sat down with Erika Kirk for 4.5 hours, and they had a talk offline. And they were talking about, no, I'm sorry. Candace went on, it's a good one too. What's that guy's name? If you're in the chat, the British guy he was very leftist. Piers Morgan, thank you. It's kind of a good one, only because if you're like totally yes Candace or totally no Candace, like, this has something for everyone. She doesn't do that great, which I personally found really interesting because she is always so smooth and like so on top of it. And he was kind of getting her goat a little bit because he is like me and just cuts everybody off all the time, which is like not. Sorry, guys. She was on Russell Brand too. Yeah. There weren't really that many zingers on Russell Brand though, Pammy. But the Piers Morgan one, not Piers Morgellons or whatever you're writing in the chat. I'm already retarded enough. You don't have to make me more retarded, man. But saying that Candace was in love with him. And actually, Candace took the high road on that one because if it was me, I would have said, like, listen, I was friends with Charlie for years before he went on a date with that girl. I helped him pick out his shirt. If you think that like I'm jealous of her, I could have had that 100 times over.
Yeah, they spent a sufficient amount of time together that if anything was going to happen, it did. So
yeah. And I doubt it. I just see her as being like more of an old soul personality wise, and I just see him as sort of being this like savant kid, like he's still like a kid in my eyes.
Well, I can believe they had a totally professional, relationship, and it didn't get real manic. But I'm saying, there's sufficient amount of time that if there was something that was going to happen, it would have.
Yeah.
So, you have people that much time. I mean, they travel together all over the place, and so,
yeah. And that was one of the like cuntier things that she did say was that she was reminiscing about Charlie and like. How they were great friends. And she's like, yeah, he didn't have the best fashion. Sometimes he would send me a picture of a shirt that he wanted to wear on a date, and I would just have to tell him. And like, basically, we talked about this last week, but Randy, that was her way of saying, Erika, you bitch, like there were plenty of girls before you. And so you ain't that special.
Honestly, you did put a different angle on it for me, Molly. I did not think.
Yeah, I didn't pick that up either.
Yeah, I was like, it was a big F you, right?
It is.
Oh, yeah, I didn't pick up on it either.
I know my sister doesn't watch my show anyway, but there was this time that she and I went over to my grandma's house, and my grandma was very like diplomatic. Like she would never just come out and say something. And my sister had this really like low cut tank top on with her boobs hanging out. And my grandma just looked at my sister and was like, must be real hot outside. My sister was like, oh yeah, I guess so. I was like, Kate, she just told you to put your tits away. Like, but Kate, like, she didn't get it. She was just like, but my grandma was diplomatically trying to say something without saying it. I did want to read this one. I saw all this misinformation and like crazy slants, and I haven't seen absolutely everything. And I definitely don't mean that Candace is like the only place that you can go for information. But there was this whole wild story about like the sister coming out against Erika, and then the parents coming out against Erika, Charlie's parents coming out against Erika. And I think there's a lot of clickbait online right now. Certainly you see people that intentionally post something fake just because 400 people getting in the comment section going, no, actually, blah, blah, that was disproven, blah, blah, blah. Every single one of you fuckers that does that and says, nah, they know it was wrong. You're just like giving them more money because there's more engagement on their post. Block them. Like, just stop. It's like media lies matter. Like, just stop giving them the views and stuff. I say that, but I found this one today and I wanted to read it. I won't even tell you where it came from. If you guys want to know, you can email me, mollysleuth@gmail. The internet is currently in a tailspin after a massive leak of documents in private journals seemingly exposed the dark reality behind a famous conservative marriage. This reads like AI slop, is what it reads like. I think AI made this up. What the public saw as a divine union ordained by fate appears to have been calculated business transaction orchestrated years in advance. New allegations suggest that the bride was not just chosen, but psychologically molded by her mother to fit the specific needs of a rising political star. The details regarding emotional architecture and scripted vulnerability are absolutely chilling. If these leaked insider testimonies are true, this wasn't a romance. It was a hostile takeover of a man's legacy. You need to understand the full scope of this betrayal. So basically, that's not the first person that is basically calling Erika Kirk a honeypot. And I think if you've been watching, and I think yesterday, she had the military guy on that they're calling Mitch, although she called him something else like a week ago. If you believe that he saw Erika Kirk at this military base, Huachuca, I think it was, in Arizona, and that she was like whisked away with some like congressmen, and the Neff kid's dad was there, and they detained him and didn't let him see who was getting in the next car. And like, if that's true, like, holy shit.
You know what I wonder, Molly? Is this our COVID? Like, is this conservative COVID? If that makes sense. Like, they're just making all of this stuff up. It's like, because I told you this already. I grew up in church. I can tell the difference between a church person, a Sunday individual, and especially mega church personality. And I'm not judging Erika. I have no idea what's going on with her, but she gives off mega church vibes. Like, she's kind of like this Joel Osteen kind of.
Yeah, it's insincere.
Yeah, there you go. I like that word, insincere.
Well, I think, Chris, you wanted to talk about the great distraction element to it, right?
Yeah. I kind of think that's what is going on with all this noise about Charlie Kirk and all that. I mean, it's an interesting story, and they have definitely left so many like wide open leads out there to pull everybody in every other direction. And so we're talking about, did he get shot by a rifle? Most likely, probably not. Is he even dead? Maybe not. He could be. He could be not. I mean, I can hold both of those to be, true, maybe. So I'm not sure exactly how it goes, but I do know that we're not talking about a lot of other things that are going on in the world right now because we're focused so heavily on what's going on with Charlie Kirk and Erika Kirk and Candace Owens. I mean, I love the fight too. I like watching Candace, and it's good entertainment. It is kind of pulling us away from things that are more important. And I wonder, like what should we be focused on? I mean, but there is some real elements here to this story that we should pay attention to because if it's shown that this is some kind of psyop, whether they murdered him or not, and this is something that they're doing to more or less agitate or divide people, then we need to know about that because this is like military level, like CIA type intelligence agency kind of level of organization it would take to pull off something like that. And they haven't done a very good job of it. It's a pretty sloppy story, as you've said. The Fed slop. I mean, the whole thing of the kid jumping off a walkway and running on a roof and assembling a rifle and taking one crack cold barrel shot at a thing when it's not even, he's not even sighted in anymore. It just doesn't, none of that stuff makes sense. And like, why is it so wildly, a bad story that leaves so many gaping holes you could drive a truck through it?
Right.
Destruction of a crime scene, all these things, it leaves you scratching your head. And you're like, if one of these things had occurred, but for all these elements to occur around this one thing, it just, you got to say, what the hell is it? What is actually going on here? Is somebody trying to silence the right and silence the voice of, half the nation? Or is this something just to kind of agitate people and make them angry at each other? And a way to make people, say, hey, bring in the iron fist. We need law and order. We need to get these people. And, if you can get both sides to kind of beg for that, we're going to wind up with it. Police state.
Well, Chris, when you, our last show, when you mentioned it, I was like, no, I think it was a gunshot. But I spoke to some gun guys, and I know that doesn't sound credible. Molly can verify. If you were a cop, you've got friends and whoever, somebody owns a gun. It's like, you have guys you talk to who are plumbers or electricians. So I'm going to be honest, Chris, I actually got to apologize. They went with what you were saying. They were like, the entry wound would be small and the exit wound would be huge. And the one guy owns a like a tactics kind of store where they go shooting and everything. And the other guy he was talking to was an actual, I was a Marine, but I did like paperwork. This guy was a sniper. And he said, yeah, it just didn't, it didn't fit. And my other part of this is Molly has been in Hollywood. So one of the things with Hollywood is there's an 80% rule. We want the story that 80% of the people believe. So if it's a doctor's, whatever, TV show, 20%, like the nurses and the doctors, are gonna be like, oh my God, that would happen. If it's a police show, Molly and I, we're not going to believe. If it's something with housing, Chris, you're like, no, friggin', it would take much more wind than that to destroy the house. So they can lose the 20%, like us three. What they cannot have is a Candace Owens or Charlie Kirk or somebody else pulling the whole veil off and showing everybody what's going on. Oh, this person's actually a man, or they're sending money. These people are getting money from this country. That's the stuff they can't have. So,
no matter what.
Yeah, I think it's some silence and stuff going on. So that's I said all I have to say. I think some of the stuff you're absolutely correct on, and I didn't think so when we did the show the other time. But after speaking with some people, they kind of verified a lot of stuff you said, Chris.
But you don't think Charlie Kirk's alive still?
Me, no. Chris says. He said he's in New Zealand with Tupac.
I don't know who he's with, but that was just the one. I guess there was some resort that was owned by somebody like Peter Thiel or something like that. It was named Valhalla. So when Cash Patel or whatever his name was on stage going, hey, I'll see you in Valhalla. That's what he meant. Actually, I'll see you at the resort later on. I mean,
sorry to cut you off, Chris. To anyone that's new in the audience, believe me, I don't think the Charlie Kirk stuff is funny at all. Molly went through it with me. That stuff hurt me. But go ahead, Chris. Just because I'm laughing, I'm not making light of it. And I just want anybody who's new here to not think.
Yeah, so that actually kind of brings me to Pammy's comment. What does Erika and Candace's body language tell you, Molly? And I don't believe shit from Erika.
No.
So Pammy, so you have to get a baseline for things, and Erika is a showman, so she might already organically be one of those people that's always constantly being bigger than they really are, because she's a fraud and a fake for like a living, because she's playing to the 20th row and not to normal human people. The other thing that gets tricky about women is that a lot of times they get like facial work done. And so then they're like, this is the saddest thing that's ever happened to me in my entire life. And I can't believe I'm ever going to get through it. And it looks really disingenuous because their faces don't move anymore. And I don't know. I mean, she seems really young to have work, but I don't know. Yeah, there is. Oh my God, the memes of her eyes compared to
those weird moments in the speech where she just stares real hard. And you shared that one meme with Kenneth Copeland. I'm like, yeah, that same look, that same stare, like really, like wow, like right through your head.
Chris, so I've done a little bit of fighting and stuff like that, and I've done security. The only time I've ever seen anyone look like they want to kill someone was women. And so she forgives the killer, and they bring up Candace and what she's saying, and her friggin' eyes turn icy, cold, blue. Like if Candace was in front of me, I would end her. And I'm like, interesting.
Yeah. And like Candace is really just asking questions, but I think like the biggest question Candace hasn't really talked about on her show yet, but when you talk about, because they were arguing about whether or not the text message existed. And the text message was that allegedly, I forgot, it wasn't Mikey McCoy, it was the other guy, told Candace, hey, he texted me the night before and he said that he's afraid that somebody's going to kill him tomorrow. And you and Tucker are also on the list. And so Erika said, I went through his phone and there was no such message. So nice try, misinformation. Like, okay, well, you checked his text, but did you check, like, I mean, you guys know, Chris, like I blow you up on Instagram and Facebook and text message and like, it's like
a lot of
many
ways,
pathways. Yeah. Right. And so then she ended up confirming that text message did exist from Charlie Kirk about being killed the next day. But the big overarching, like, stop worrying about whether or not this text message exists. If you guys were in this like loving, committed, awesome, close relationship, he never like turned to you and said, hey, babe, I heard this thing, or I'm afraid they're going to kill me. Like, he never told her. He just like went to work and he's like, let me text the bros. That doesn't make any sense. And nobody's talking about it. So either he never brought it up to Erika and they're not as close as she's trying to think, just like everybody's ambulance chasing this shit. And being like, oh my God, it's just so heartbreaking because the last time we talked, whatever. I was offering him a home loan and he said he didn't have time and he hung up on me. And like, it's like, you guys weren't close at all. Screw off. But if he was close with Erika, he would have mentioned it to her. So for her to say like, this text message didn't exist, he never said that, like, it makes me feel like either he had told her also, which adds to the honeypot part of this conspiracy theory, or they really weren't that close at all, which also could add to she had a lot to gain from him going to New Zealand with Tupac or wherever the hell he is.
Well, maybe it's like some Truman Show kind of shit. His wife was just an actor playing a role and there to keep him in line and keep the show going. And when it looked like we were going to cancel the show, well, step in and take over. I don't know. It is pretty bizarre, as you've cited, from the beginning. her husband dies and is killed in such a tragic way, and her first thought is, let's go run the company and forget about my family and everything else. Yeah, it's the opposite of what you would expect, I would say.
Were you
Yeah.
were you eavesdropping on me and Molly's conversation? We said the same. Well, actually, I can't take credit. Molly actually said that. Oh, here's my 2 little kids. I'm gonna go be the CEO, and now they have no parents.
Yeah, it's like you can't play trad wife while you're like, throw the kids at the babysitter. Mama's got to go be CEO. I'm going to go be a boss babe real quick. And then go, oh, I'm just a grieving widow. Like, if you're a grieving widow, go the fuck home and let somebody else run the company. If you're running the company, then you need to answer questions. Maybe not like questions about his autopsy and where he's buried, but like, where is the company going? Because they're still raking in millions and millions of dollars. Even just last weekend, $40 million from a Mar-a-Lago dinner, $10,000 a plate. That's a lot of money. And the investors need to know, like, what's your plan, guys? Like, what are you guys doing? Are you turning more towards Turning Point Faith? Is this becoming Turning Point Israel? Like, what are we doing here? And I think that they're owed that, the investors are. And if you're the CEO, then you're the one answering those questions, sweetheart. But if you want to go be grieving trad wife mommy, step off the podium. It's like she can't have both, but she is trying. I think that's why a lot of people, maybe Pammy, I don't know, you tell me, is that like part of why you don't like her? Although, yes, the weird whispers are very weird. That man, like that is an affectation. What I can say, we're talking about body language. When I was a detective and you're interviewing people, and one of the things that you can directly ask them, you know, hey, Molly, did you steal the car? If you get, I didn't steal the car. I didn't steal the car. I didn't steal it. When it gets smaller and smaller, you're kind of beating them down. That's a liar. It's more of an indicator of deception. When you have somebody like Candace that just starts off just asking questions that turn into fuck you and the midget horse that you ran it on. She is doubling, tripling down. And so you say, hey, Molly, it's just like, you guys got to go see that part. She's such a lady compared to me. And like, to see her get down and dirty, like that was really satisfying.
Yeah, now they're going to pitch it as she's unhinged and crazy and everything.
Yeah.
You're going to give up everything that's led up to that, including threats on her life. You know, I mean,
but if the craziest person in the world knocks on your door and says your house is on fire and like you're surrounded by smoke, get the fuck out. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't matter if you don't like her or she's kind of bitchy or like she shouldn't have interviewed that person or she shouldn't, whatever. If she's right, none of that matters. It's all distraction. Just answer the questions. And like Erika still isn't answering some of the questions.
No, they're doing the old tactic of, rearranging the question to one they want to answer instead of answering the question that was posed to them. I can't remember what that tactic's called, but yeah, that's what they're.
Deflection,
deflection or obfuscation. I'm not sure if that fits, but yeah, something like that.
Well, wasn't there a movie? I think Halle Berry, like her kid was missing or something. And they try to say, "Oh, she's a crazy lady because she's looking for her kid."
Yeah.
I think it's the same with Candace. Like, "Oh, she's a crazy lady. She's upset that her friend just died." Like, what?
Was that movie about like some kind of alien or some kind of experiment? They wanted to see if they could break the bond between mother and child, and they couldn't break it because she knew that her child existed, even though they were trying to make her believe it didn't exist. That was the plot of that movie, wasn't it?
I want to say yes, and I think the detective was like, he started to believe her. Because they were doing the whole, you've never had a kid, and I think they found like child stuff at the. My point with saying all this is, I don't blame Candace. Like this guy not launched, but you're part of my career, you're part of my friendship. Like this dude was basically her family. When I went through all my stuff, Molly looked into it deeply. Like what happened? what's going on? Oh no, Molly, you're crazy. You shouldn't be looking. You shouldn't be caring about your friends. And listen, Erika might be 100%. She's good to go. Whatever. My thing with Candace is, I wouldn't expect anything different. Oh, she's getting money from it. Anything she talks about, there's going to be money involved. There's Egyptian planes following me. Okay, here's some money. Views get money. That's just the way it is.
When they say Egyptian planes, by the way, they just mean that the tail numbers are basically registered in Egypt. That doesn't mean that the people flying them are Egyptian or has anything to do with the Egyptian government, by the way, in case you didn't. It's just like their car was registered in a different state. Doesn't mean this. Has anything
Actually, I
to do
didn't know that. So.
I'm sorry.
No,
Yeah, I
no,
guess
I'm just saying I did it.
So.
No, just saying I didn't know that. So
Okay. I'm sorry.
Also,
Right, but then just like you're talking about with deflection, then Erika says like, "Oh, I didn't even get on an Egyptian plane because I was pregnant and I wanted In-N-Out Burger and my hot fudge sundae." Like, I've been to In-N-Out Burger a couple times. I didn't know they added hot fudge sundaes to the fucking thing. Maybe she went across the street to like McDonald's and like, you know. And then she changed it to chocolate shake, which is like, it's an interesting thing as somebody who interrogated people. It's like you don't even have that clear idea in your head because now you've just changed it. So were you picturing the hot fudge sundae or the chocolate shake? Because you can't get one at the place that you said that you went to. And, it's small things like that. And so Pammy's saying her body language and phony demeanor creeps me out. My instincts tell me that she's not to be trusted. There is something kind of disingenuous about her, but also like she hit the scene and we were all kind of like, what? I mean, so she's a beauty queen, or I guess she was, or whatever. And she did a bunch of stuff.
Pageants.
Actually, somebody just roasted her online. I got to find that. But they were talking about how she's saying, how like, I don't need alcohol and I don't drink because like the Lord, whatever. And they were just like, roll the tape. And like, there's just all these pictures of her, like, just like, like, here I am with champagne. Here I am with a cocktail. Here I am with this. And it's like, okay, maybe she poses with it, but like, I don't do drugs. I'm not going to pose with a heroin needle. Like, it just wouldn't occur to me. Like, let me just take a quick picture.
What's that one pastor's name? Chris, you should know his name. White guy, he's got a giant church, like it's huge, mega church.
Olstein?
Olstein, thank you.
Okay.
So Olstein, Trudeau, Newsom, and her all have that. Molly probably knows what it is. It's like this performer's kind of. I can't even tell you what it is. It's just.
I'm not sure how anybody even falls for that, because to me it has always come off as completely disingenuous. They're not. They preach, but you like look at them like, no, I don't know. I've just never trusted any of those big glass palaces as churches and say this is the house of God. I don't know what God you're worshiping, but it looks like the God of wealth and money and all that. I'm not. Yeah.
Well, even as president, like Trudeau as president, like I really care about. No, you don't. Same with Newsom in California. Like how you don't see. Well, they're tall and they're handsome and they have nice haircuts. Like there's not more to life than that. But I did want to say something to you two guys. One thing I do like with the left is they stick together. They're like, oh, it's 124 genders now. Okay, cool, whatever. And then I'm not saying. This is not something to beef over, but I don't like where this is going because it has split the culture of the right. Because I've been on some sites where they're like, I can't believe Candace is doing this stuff. I don't know what's wrong with her. And they're like, I don't like that Erika is doing this. But I think it's more that the right has principles and they're like, no, this is wrong. Let's look into it, as opposed to, no, let's just get power on the other side.
How do you feel about Nick Fuentes? And because he was kind of like the adversary, if you will, on the right from Charlie Kirk. They were sort of opposing views, both being on the right side but having different views, and they often clashed whenever I don't think Nick and Charlie actually debated ever, but they were constantly debating each other through like proxies. People would come to Charlie Kirk's show and ask him a bunch of questions, and they're like, "Oh, this sounds like I'm talking to Nick Fuentes," and really they were. It was sort of the talking points that were going on between them. But that's.
I didn't like him at first. I'm not saying I like him now, but some of the stuff he says. So there was this guy. His name was Kevin Samuels, and he was kind of in a red pill. He's black. He said some of the stuff that I'm doing, even though I'm saying this stuff about women and holding them accountable, I also have to be a showman. This has to be entertaining. I can't just say, "Oh, women should wear high heels." He's like, "You chicks need to wear high heels." So some of it is for show. Same with Nick Fuentes. Like he was saying all this crazy stuff about black people, and I kind of realized, oh, he's trying to get views and he's trying to get ratings, and oh, I'm going to say something. Click word. Is it clickbait?
Yeah, like
Clickbait word.
shocking or
Yeah, shocking. Like, oh, shock. So my short answer to you is I have to look into him some more. At first I hated him. Now I'm like, let me look into this guy.
To me, I haven't really watched a lot of Nick Fuentes, but obviously lately, yes, because he's been on in my screen a lot more. To me, the difference is that Charlie was more of like a mild-mannered guy who was there to share his brain with people, and that he wanted to see these ideas really go into your head to make you understand a topic so that you could maybe change your mind or your view about the world, and maybe we could all come together. I see Nick Fuentes as being a guy who wants to get his face in front of everyone, and he speaks more in like blurbs and talking points and doesn't like flesh out his strategic plan to save the economy like Charlie Kirk did, but he's very watchable in that roller coaster of emotions that he's taking everyone on. And I think he does say things that are shocking. Does he believe him? Like, I don't know the guy. I don't know. But he's very watchable in that, oh my God, I can't believe he said that. But I don't know that he has the power to really like change the youth like Charlie Kirk did.
I think one of the reasons they did target Charlie Kirk was because he was actually affecting the youth. Like even some of his staunchest enemies came on, and one girl was crying. She goes, "This dumbass got himself killed," and she's bawling because she genuinely was like, "Oh, he got killed." And here's my thing with, okay, I don't agree or I agree. You don't do what you did to a person. Like it goes to what Chris is saying. Maybe it's a distraction, but it's so huge. It's you guys don't get a voice. You don't get to speak. And if you speak and we don't like it, we're gonna end you. And that's huge. That will destroy America. On another note, and this is a conspiracy theorist thought, which I am not a conspiracy theorist. I believe the elites who don't align with anything are starting to align, right? Because I don't think they see that the left can't pull it off. What I mean by that is they want to reform America, but they don't want to do it the way the left wants to do it, which is destroy the thing. They're like, no, we tried it with you guys. The pendulum's going to swing the other way. Or it might just be a natural swing because you guys did all this stuff and now we're paying all this extra money. Like people are sick and tired of, before when I had a bunch of money in the bank and you're burning the flag and you're like, death to America. Okay, you're mildly annoying. Now that you're getting a crap load of money out of my bank account and I'm paying for it, no, you're not burning anything. And F it, you can go back to your country. Oh, I don't give a damn. Yeah, bye. So my thing is, I think the pendulum is going the other way. What I'd like is for it to just stop in the middle. Let's be balanced.
I don't know how you do that because we have divided and subdivided and more divided. And hi, Chardar. No love for Nick, Benny, and Tim. Oh, yeah, Tim Pool. We need to get into that.
Oh, wow, Tim Pool. Good job.
Bro. He's like, you talk about Candace saying crazy things about midget horses. Like, he's gone off the rails.
Ego so bad.
To me, it's like the country, we've all been thrown into this lifeboat, and you have the leftists that are just laying and we're taking on water, and we need to fucking get somewhere, and we need some help, and something needs to be done. We are going to sink. And you have the left just like laying there going, someone else will save us. There's nothing to do. We're taking on water. Somebody else will save us. I'm not doing the work. And then you have the right, whatever, the people that are going to work towards something. And we're all furiously rowing. But it's like, no, I think we need to go this way. No, guys, we need to go this way. We need to go this way. Like, we all need to decide where we're going so we can work at it together. Hopefully we're right. And the people that are dead weight in the boat might need to get kicked out of the boat. But I don't know how you do that in a society where everybody gets a vote. We allow people to vote whether or not they're informed or not. They could get their talking points from Facebook and still, vote blue no matter who, and not have any idea what any of these bills do. I was a blue-haired punk rocker as a kid. I've probably shared that picture before. And I think it wasn't really until, I always voted, but did I know what they stood for? Like, totally not. And I think I only voted for Perot because he was like the punk rock, like independent, like, yeah, he's not either party. Yeah. And I would vote independent again. I do understand what these guys, Tim Pool, all these guys are kind of saying is like, think about the midterms. Like, we're going to lose this for everyone. I understand that idea that we don't want to lose sight of we're trying to do something. We're trying to row this boat here. And if we all just sit back, we're going to drown. But I also think that this isn't about two bitches fighting on the internet. This really is like so fundamental. Do we suck up the Fed slop and just let them pick us off if we're not convenient anymore and lie to us? And all these people have this information. And if what this guy is saying that was at the base is that there were so many people that were there, congressmen and, the wife and this person and all these people, like all of those people know the plan. All of those people are involved in wiping Charlie Kirk off the planet. And there's only like one little fish swimming against the stream and a bunch of us like following along going, I don't know where she's going, but like, holy shit, there's a lot of people going the other way. It's kind of scary. Like, this really is a defining moment for us societally, I think. Like, are you just going to accept what the government says, even if it doesn't make sense?
Well, I'll let Chris, you want to go first, or?
Well, I was just going to say, I think it's deliberately a sloppy job. Fed slop is a pretty good summation of what we're getting from this whole Charlie Kirk thing. And to me, it's deliberate. They just want to throw this out there and let us like pull at the ends and pull at the strings and fight and argue and talk about this stuff. And, in the end, I'm not sure how much it matters really. But anyway, that's all I was going to say on it.
I've said this on the show before. I truly believe the U.S. is U.S. 80. I think 80% of us is on some normal type stuff where it's dinner table issues. Can I get home safe? I don't want to pay $19 per gallon of gas. I want to pay $2 for milk. I really, truly believe it's 80% of us. And I think we all have a 90s. I think we're all 90s Americans. Like, I don't care that Randy and Chris are outside playing together. I don't care what color they are. And it's not, Randy has to be black or Chris has to be white. I think that's 80% of us. And I think there's 9.5 on the right that's like doing their thing. And I think there's 9.5 on the left that's doing their thing. And I think out of the groups that are trying to pull, I think those two sides are fighting for the soul of America and what our identity is going to be. Is our identity going to be communism and sexuality and ideology, or is it going to be whatever the right is fighting for? And I think the 1% is like, I'm going to use wherever I have to use to get that 80%. And I know you said it on the show a few weeks ago, Chris, about the voting. I think it still gets the temperature of, do these guys think they're the 124 genders, or are they patriots? Like, what's the image? What is America? Like, is your America this hateful, oppressive regime, or is your America, oh my God, I get freedom of speech. I get to, I go to court, and maybe I can fight my battle, and I don't get. I've been to some other countries. America's it, and I mean in a good way. So that's my 2 cents on what's going on.
Well, I think I've tried to vote in pretty much every presidential election since 1996, and I also voted for Pro the second time he ran. I think I voted for Nader a few times, and then they switched to what was her name? I can't remember, but she was way too progressive, and I couldn't stay with the Green Party anymore. Anyway, I followed elections for a long time, and I was very fervent in voting and always did, and believed in it for a long time, but I don't so much anymore, and I'm not sure how much it really matters. And if my point of view, I would love, like for people to not have any division among political parties like that, because pretty much there isn't any division. At the top, there really isn't. They're all buddies. They all go to, Child Rape Island together and ride on the Lolita Express, and they all go to these other ranches. I mean, Epstein Island was only one of a few hangouts that he had. He had some place in Nevada or something like that, too. So he had more than one little sex camp or whatever. So it was they're all connected. And I don't think that it matters if you look at the words of like Woodrow Wilson and Dwight Eisenhower, John F. Kennedy, Nixon, and they all had ominous warnings that warned us and said, "Hey, things aren't exactly the way you think it is. The country is no longer ruled by the popular our vote and everything. It's ruled by a handful of men." And let's say if you're on the left, maybe you like Michael Moore's movies or whatever. I can't remember what movie. I want to say it was like 2009 or something like that. I want to like 6 or something. Anyway, in the movie, he said that America had become a plutonomy or a plutocracy, which basically means a government run for and by the wealthy. And so, like at the bottom, all this stuff is just meant to make us, hate each other. I am not supposed to like you because you're a black man, whatever, any kind of division they can make. Oh, this person's gay, this person's trans, that person's a Catholic, that person's Muslim, this person's Jewish. Anywhere they can drive a wedge in, they want to separate us and drive us nuts and make it and worry about that instead of what the hell they're doing. They don't really have any concern for us. I don't think. I think they just do whatever the hell they want. And
what ends up happening is the America that they create will actually seep into their. So I was working I did a security detail in West Hollywood, and they were all, listen, we love criminals are the best. And they were like, oh my God, they're starting to come and kill us. So then they were like, oh, maybe we should change our path concerning this stuff. So when it affects them, now all of a sudden, oh, maybe judging people by their skin colors might not be such a good idea, left or right. And they start to move away from this foolishness. The issue is it's hard to purge because that 19-year-old grew up thinking, I'm a victim, Molly's a victim, and you're an oppressor, Chris. So now she's conducting her life like that. Now she gets a job putting out movies or making policy or whatever. So getting that stuff flushed out becomes an issue. So it's not going to be, well, tomorrow we're going to be cool again. Oh, Molly, hope I'm not going too far, whatever the target is.
No, you're fine. They actually just did released a study on Facebook about hate crimes and found that 90% of them were against whites and men. So,
oh yeah,
classified as a hate crime though. I always thought that was a goofy kind of thing. I mean,
I don't know.
Has there ever been like a love mugging? I don't know.
Yes, it's in my DMs, one dick at a time.
Well, I don't think that's love, Molly.
That's the kind of love they're available for.
Mm.
Hey, so Pammy on YouTube says, what do y'all think about Dan Bongino leaving the FBI in January? My opinion is that he was useless the entire time he was deputy director, or he just realized the swamp is too deep, nothing he can do.
Yeah.
Dude, that is the truth.
Can I piggyback on it? You think Marjorie is also thinking that?
I do. I really did like Marjorie Taylor Greene. I thought that she was a honey badger. I thought she was very America first. And when you talk about like MAGA, like to me, it's America first. And I think that she was very America first. Fuck everybody else. You've got to put on your air mask before you help anybody else. And when Dan Bongino had a show, I felt that he was the same way. I really liked his show. And then he just sort of disappeared for me and was like in the back of press conferences, but I didn't really see any forward motion. And I guess that's kind of, I understand them leaving. Look, Randy and I have gone over our time working for various police departments, and my last job before working for the fire department now was working for a corrupt police department. And I stayed there 6 months, and it was hard to leave. I moved, I bought a house. It was like, maybe I can just not be corrupt in this corrupt environment. So I really feel for them trying to fight that fight and make something right from the inside out. Like, I really understand that. And to have to go, I also understand that. So I just wonder if he'll have the balls once he goes back to doing his show to do a little tell-all and explain. Like, it's truly like, I mean, and we said this a lot during COVID, but it's like the parade is going by and everyone's like, oh, look at the emperor's new clothes. Like, it just takes that one little kid to step out from the crowd and go, but he's naked. And for other people to go, yeah, you're right, I was just pretending. And like, yeah, he is naked. Oh my God, look, he's naked. We really need to get to a point where it's not just Candace against the world, or Tucker against the world, or Marjorie Taylor Greene against the world. Because even Candace and Tucker and Marjorie Taylor Greene and Dan Bongino like weren't working together. And I like what you're saying, Randy, is that the left is like, no matter what's going on, we've all collectively decided that we are all going to fall in line with whatever the narrative is going to be. Whereas for the right, you have a lot of different directions.
I kind of think that might be true when they are not in power, but they're just like the Republicans. When they feel like they're in control, their infighting begins. And that's true with any group. And that's really why there will never, ever be a one world government. Are you hearing me there, New World Order people? It's never going to happen, okay? Because the minute one group seizes control, infighting is going to start, and they're going to start picking apart at it. It's human nature. That's why, for eons they have tried to have a one world government, one world. It'll never be.
So,
Getting rid of the party to get along. So,
Chris, I could not agree with you more. So Muslims, they will tell the truth. They're like, no, we're going to come straight out and say it. We align with the left and with liberals because they don't stand for anything, and we know they're easier to defeat. So once we are in power, and there's this word that they use. It's from their Bible. I think it's tikip or something like that. I know I'm getting it wrong, but you're allowed to lie to the infidels to do what you need to do. They said once we're in power, and they've shown it. Like, you're not going to have your rainbow parade around them. I don't care what you do. But so they're fighting to get in the position of power, like you said, Chris. And then they're like, oh, once we're in power, who's going to be in charge? Is it going to be this group? Is it going to be that group? Is it going to be the caliphate said it's going to be them. And then to something Molly said about the will somebody tell the emperor he has on no clothes? To Jon Stewart's credit, who I don't like, he did say, "Oh, the virus started in China, or whatever." And then everybody was like, "Oh my God, let's start telling the truth about COVID." And then there's something else that Molly said. I don't think you're brave for feeding the neighbor, and the kids at your table are starving. Like, here's what America First is to me. We're not okay. When we're okay, cool. You can send $1 billion to whoever you want to send $1 billion to. But if I can't pay my rent, I really don't care about any other flag except the one behind me. And it's not a flex that you're doing all this stuff. So
I don't know if it's true or not, but there's claims that we are in worse economic shape than we were during the Great Depression. Like there's more homeless, there's more people living on the streets. We had Hoovervilles back then. Now we just, I don't want to, whatever you want to call them, but there's plenty of homeless people out west in Portland and California and all that. I mean, I see it on the TV. I don't experience it firsthand like you may have, but we have it here in Michigan too. They were just breaking up a homeless camp right here locally to move people out.
I'm not glad you said that. I'm so glad you said that. We have a homeless population in LA that is the size of a city, Pasadena, which is a smaller city, but I can't remember the number. And fun fact, they poop directly into the sewer, so it pollutes the ocean and kills wildlife. And this is from the capital of green energy and sustainable and all of that good stuff. Can't fix a pothole, but we can change the climate on the planet. It's just nonsense like that where, dude, I want us to succeed, but let me stop all of that for 1 second. Why are you not feeding your cows? Get us nice and fat, and then come and take our money. That's the route I would go with. These guys are like, oh, let's burn America down, and then what are you going to take, the ashes? You're not going to be able to build anything. Like, if you let us get our houses and our cars and all that stuff, tax that crap and get your trillions of dollars. The way they're doing it now, this whole suicidal empathy nonsense, unless there's some other country that they're looking at, they're like, oh, we're going to let Sweden rule the world. So to me, none of this stuff makes sense.
Well, it does kind of make sense if you look at what, as we said before, what Yuri Bezmenov was talking about in the demoralization of a nation and slowly eroding the
Normalization
in the core beliefs of that nation, and that's sort of what they're doing. Also, with the Communist Manifesto, what they want to do is bring us to a crisis situation. So it is bad enough then that people will be pliable and they'll just accept whatever the hell the government comes along with as a solution. It's problem, reaction, solution. That isn't necessarily what Hegel said, but that's the approximation of it, of his
Chris, the issue is they underestimated the American whatever the heck we have. Like, you're in the UK and you got these blooming gangs running around, and these guys, the cops are like, well, we don't want to appear racist, so we don't arrest all of the purple people raping women. So sorry, girls, but we don't want to look like we're racist. Americans, I hate to say it, but we're made of sterner stuff. Like, no, that's not going to go down. So I agree with you on Yuri. So Yuri was a KGB agent. He's got this thing on YouTube from 1986. It sounds like he did it yesterday.
Yes, very relevant.
Yeah, it's extremely relevant. Get everybody. What was the word you used? Demoralize, normalize, crisis. And that's some of the stuff they're doing. But again, I still go with the let you be rich, let Molly be rich, let me be rich, and then come and take our money. Like, there's nothing to take when we're just sitting there like we're broke. So
what if you just deport their dick after they rape somebody? And then they could just stay. We have love for you, but your dick has to go.
Molly, I said that about so they put a rapist in a woman's prison, and he did what rapists do. And so the person talking about it was like, we have to respect their pronouns. The wife of the rapist, I gotta stop saying that because I'm on YouTube, but the wife of the person said we have to respect their pronouns. Here's my theory on all this. Don't put rapey penises around women. Maybe that would stop a lot of the stuff. Don't have to worry about pronouns, just have to worry about penises that
Either worry about one prisoner's safety, his safety in a male's prison, or worry about all the females around him when he's in a female prison. I think the choice is obvious. Just put him in with the males. And, if he wants to dress that way, it's going to bring him a lot of unwanted attention. But,
well, it's feelings based, Chris. They're concerned that his feelings going to get hurt. So the women getting hurt, that comes second. His feelings getting hurt comes first. It's the same with these crime statistics. Molly knows about this. So you got cameras all over, and it's all green people doing whatever crime. Well, we don't want them to feel bad, so let's get rid of these cameras. It's so crazy to me. I feel like I'm crazy.
Yeah.
Upside down world for sure. We're doing the opposite of what we should be doing. Yeah.
Yeah, it really is cruel and unusual punishment. Like, that's unconstitutional to lock a woman in a cage with somebody that's threatening their safety. And we have, every state has different laws, but, at least in terms of California, if somebody's across the room from me saying he's going to come over and grape me, I am legally allowed to end his existence. Because California law understands that part of you basically dies, and that it is serious bodily injury. It's a seriously violent crime, and they support, even still, for you to defend your life, even if it means taking theirs in those cases. But so to put me in a prison, and let's say like I was driving drunk and I killed some nuns or whatever the hell I did that caused me to go to jail or prison, that still doesn't equate to the cruel and unusual punishment of being thrown in a cage with somebody who's assaulting me.
Molly, a police friend said something so, I don't even know, I didn't think of it. He said he is in a women's prison. That means the other 998 women in there, they're willing. There's a guy in here with us? I want to go see. And this guy's like, no, I'm going to go force myself on the two women who don't want to do this. And it's like, how is that progressive?
Well, but that's also the mentality of the rapist, is that they don't want hoe bags off Tinder. Like, they want the one, virginal girl walking on the street minding her own business. God, I kill you like all the time. This is why we're friends, Randy, because you think I'm funny. Take some notes, Chris.
Everyone in the chat.
We need to find the idiot who started the whole pronouns thing. I think that's just like the LGBTQIA plus thing. That's more of the Frankfurt School critical theory of subcategories, where you just keep hashing up a group of people and ever more defining that group into smaller and smaller groups of people. And most people don't understand the LGBTQ thing is actually a way to divide that group of people up. It's not for unity. It's actually the opposite. But
so two things, Chris. The second point I'm going to make, I'm stealing from Molly. Well, the first point, she said something kind of really smart. She said, I'm just gay, so I'm no longer special. Oh, maybe now I'm trans. Well, maybe now I'm a furry, so people continue to be special. I did security in Hollywood on Pride events, and they confirmed what you said, Chris. There was nights where they didn't want this group at the event. We don't like that group. Then I'm political gay, he's parade gay, that person's bedroom gay, and I'm like, what's going on right now? So it's so much of it. It's just a bunch of division, like you said. Live your life. But like you said, it's a lot.
Yeah, but also it's dividing, but it's also, you're including so many people now that, like, why are you even putting questioning in the mix? If you don't know what sexuality you are, bitch, get out of our party. I know what I'm doing over here. This is the queer party. Oh, I'm asexual. Cool. You also don't belong here. Oh, I like kids. Bro, that doesn't have anything to fucking do with us. You get the fuck over there. And and I know like for my gay friends, like they're all just like, get out of our party. Like this was our thing. We're gay and maybe bi, which is sort of half gay. And that's it. That's our party. You guys go away. And, but everybody wanted to kind of glom on to that as some kind of like riding the tail of the comet sort of situation.
That's one of those things about, I guess it gets me in a lot of trouble. I have a hard time kind of identifying with the way other people identify. And I have always thought it was really weird why we as human beings are so centered on who we have sex with. Like, why is that such a big part of your identity? You know, I don't know. I would say I probably have, average sex life with somebody that's in a committed relationship, might happen a couple of times a week or something. And I don't want to get too graphic but it doesn't make up a whole lot of the time of my life. You know what I mean? It's a very short period in my life. And we spend so much more of our life doing other things. You spend way more time of your life waiting in line than you will ever having sex. You know what I mean? So like, how does that way you wait in line not define you more than who you have sex with? And I've just always been puzzled, like, why is that? I understand it's a part of you, but like, why is it so central to so many people? It's like, I don't know, us, normal, whatever you want to call it. I'm using the wrong words. Most people do not go around wearing it as a badge, but some do for some weird reason that I don't understand. I mean, like, hey, if you love that person, that's who you love, great. Hey, whatever. But like, why is it so central to your identity? I don't know. Like,
yeah.
Chris just insulted the whole.
I did about a good percentage of America right there. Sorry.
He's like, those of us that are going to heaven, we don't.
Yeah.
No.
Well, that's okay. A circle of ones in the chat was something I am definitely not reading out loud. And after listening to Chris's diatribe, I realized that I'm cobweb sexual. So,
Chris, I'm getting hot. Thanks a lot. Chris, up to 30 seconds ago, we weren't obsessed with sex. I call these people skin worshipers, not the LGBT community. I'm just talking about the identity politics, nutbags. And the reason they do all of this stuff, how can we get you guys divided? It's like,
yes.
Oh my God, really? And I'm not talking about LGBTQ, just the whole identitarian nonsense. You two are white, yeah, but she's a female and he's a hetero. Oh my God.
I mean, race is a completely messed up thing if you really break it down in your head, it doesn't make any damn sense. Like, you can geographically be from the same area, but be made up, a lot different than people around you. Just because we all live in Michigan doesn't make everybody in Michigan my relative, or somehow, we're all united as Michiganders. And it's just weird. It's weird how, as humans, we pick certain things to identify with. And to me, I don't know, doesn't make a whole lot of sense. I guess you should be, like, you guys often start to show your identity is your accomplishments and the things that you have done yourself, not something that's, just happened to you, I don't know. I get.
No, you're right. I mean, you get your birth as a participation trophy. Like, oh my God, you were born not through anything you did, or it's all foolishness. I mean, like I said, you're a good person or you're a bad person. That's what it boils down to.
Yeah.
And what have you accomplished, or were you lucky? Did you win? And when I say the genetic lottery, I don't mean skin color. I mean, like, oh man, that guy's naturally fast, or she's tall and beautiful, things like that. But Molly, again, I apologize if I hijacked the what we had planned.
no, you didn't. We can get back to it. I want to open a couple of Christmas presents right now.
Okay.
I love that you're excited. And not that I'm just about to totally insult both of you.
I absolutely am. But you said,
well, for Chris, I wanted to get you something to celebrate the season. And, there's nothing more festive than a nutcracker. And so I wanted to bestow these beautiful nutcrackers upon you, and I think they're exactly what you would like to, see every morning as you eat your breakfast. Got you those.
You should have got that for me.
Well, Randy, I got you something very nice that I think that you will like. I know that you're a little bit more on the spirit. Crack those nuts, Rod said. I know you're more on the spiritual side. So I wanted to get you something, that represents who you are. And so I found this beautiful statue of Saint Rita, and I really liked her. She's quite beautiful. But then I was like zooming in on her face, and I thought she looked a little crazy, and it sort of reminded me of that. But I couldn't find a statue of him for you, so you'll just have to
thank you
for Saint Rita, I guess.
So sacrilegious.
Saint Frazzle Drip. Oh my god!
Who said that? Razzle.
Circle of One, of course. I
Are
have
we
more
bringing Tom Hanks
presents
into
for
this
you.
now?
I have more presents, but I have to load them. So,
Molly, I got you something.
oh,
It is a unique sock. There's a tiny hole. So I don't have the other side though. So you're gonna have to put both feet in.
One sock.
first of all, I think you might be the only other person on this planet that gives me a run for my money with how many socks we both own. Except mine are all cool and yours are all boring.
Oh yeah.
You have the most basic bro socks that I've ever seen. None of them match. They're just a shade from like sort of white to kind of black and everything in between. And I don't understand how you don't have you have 73,000 socks and you don't have two of them that are the same color.
She is not kidding, Chris.
True.
So they'll be slightly off. I have like a white one and a black one that match with the it doesn't match.
They don't.
I just try to match for length. I don't necessarily care if they're the same color pattern or anything. But wearing one calf high and one knee high sock is really weird.
That's true though. That would really piss me off, I would think.
You keep trying to pull the other one up or push one down all day. Like, oh, this feels weird.
Yeah, I hate that. There's nothing worse. Okay, so in the spirit of Christmas, well, maybe I'll save that one because it's pretty cute. Oh, let me take it off the stage. Okay, you guys know I love to be on Temu. I love to look at garbage. So I looked up garbage, and then I found this. And
oh, wow.
I'm just trying to figure out what the hell it is. It says it's a waste collector. It's made out of silicone. But I can't help but notice that, like, it looks like they cut something out to make it trash. And then you're taking the one good part of the piece of paper and putting that into the trash. So I was really confused. I decided to look into it a little bit more. So here's the second picture. And it says, like, it has multiple uses. So I was kind of excited about seeing all the different uses. I'm still seeing just tweezers putting a cutout leaf in there, which makes me feel like there's got to be more to this story. So here you can also use it to put out colorful leaves with tweezers into the trash.
Which is obviously easier than putting in a trash can, I guess.
Right, yeah, but so you can also use it for this though, which is putting colorful leaves into the trash. So that's good, but you can also use it just for putting colorful leaves with tweezers into the trash. And then finally, You can definitely use it to put colorful leaves into. I still don't know what this stupid thing is. A waste collector that I've never put stuff in the trash using a pair of tweezers. Like, it just seems like get a paper towel if you can't touch it. I don't know what that is. That just seems like the most worthless gift. So I have gifted it upon everyone here tonight. Enjoy your worthless.
I'm gonna have to start
trash.
putting stickers out now.
I just don't even know.
So
Like each picture that came, I was like, that's the same thing. What are these multiple uses they're talking about?
you know that thing is tiny, right? Did you see the guy's hand next to it?
But it doesn't matter if it's giant or tiny because I just still don't know what the hell it is.
It's a spittoon.
Scale isn't the problem here, Randy. It's usage. I don't know. Okay, but don't worry, because Chris, I got you this. You're a little bit more of a conspiracy theorist than the rest of us, so I wanted to make sure that you were fully represented. It is
All right,
a
close
nice foil hat for you.
That will reflect the Blu-rays off my head there for sure.
Don't worry, Randy. I got you a hat too, so you can have that hat. That one I think will look very nice. I hope it comes with the glasses. It didn't say whether or not it came with the glasses. I'm not sure. We're getting a sexy in the chat. Definitely sexy. Chris, unfortunately, I can also see you wearing this outfit, which I will be gifting you as well. And really, you can see that better come with the hat, is all I have to say about that. But Randy, don't worry.
Myself from breakdancing, I didn't do it right.
Yeah. Randy, not to be outdone, I got you a little outfit too. I hope I got it in the right size.
Whoa.
But I feel like that's going to be really nice on you.
Yoga pimp.
It's going to hug you in all the right places. I didn't know what kind of shoes you should wear with that outfit. But I did find you some that I think are going to be perfect. And so I got you those.
Love them.
They're all on Temu. Oh, and Chris, not to be outdone, I obviously found you a pair of sneakers too. So I got you these. So you can
Nice. Chris
be
gets
wearing
all
those. Those are pretty good. And did I get you guys anything else? Let me see. Oh, actually, yes. Chris, this has you basically written all over it. It's a good conspiracy theory shirt that I really liked. And then there's this shirt, unwilling participant in an idiocracy. I feel like that also has Chris written all over it.
Yeah, I could wear that.
Yeah. So then, but Randy, don't worry, because I got you this shirt. Everything is fine. Trust your government. No redactions needed. And yeah, that's a pretty good one. I could definitely see you wearing that. And I think that's it. So we'll just end my little Christmas shenanigans with a beautiful nativity of bunnies, which is all I really want in this world.
Oh,
They're so sweet. Cookies make a good gift. Listen, could I just rant about Super Biatch's cookies? Because she made the most amazing. Randy, let me explain this to you. All these cookies, right? There are a million ones. Of course, I had to tax them. I had to try one of every single one. On top of them, though, there were these like fluffy, green, frosted, like Rice Krispie treats, but they were like jagged and looked like holly with those little tiny. Remember when we were kids and you had those little like cinnamon candies that were like round balls of cinnamon? The red ones that you'd put in sugar cookies. So they looked like holly. And there was 4 of them on top of this giant tray that I was supposed to share with all the firefighters. I ate every one of those motherfucking green things. Those boys, Those boys didn't even know that those green things existed because I ate them all before I gave them over. And then some of them had stuck to some cookies, so there was a little bit of green frosting like on those cookies. And I'm like, well, they can't know about that, so I had to eat those cookies too. Like, I was like, oh, I don't. Carrie made half a tray of cookies for you guys. Oh God, I'm so full. They were so amazing, and like the boys, like, you know, it's hard to impress firefighters when they get like baked goods every day from somebody, and they were like, oh, who made these? Oh my God, oh, this is so amazing. Oh. And I'm like, that's what you get for not inviting her to the Christmas party. But anyway. Yes, former cop knows how to cover up the food crime.
Nice.
Listen, professional fat ass, and for that, a little eggnog.
Molly, about your shirts,
Cheers.
I do have a question for Chris. Trust your government, I am a lie, conspiracy theory. So I'm not a conspiracy theorist. Why not just tell us the truth, Chris? I don't mean you, I just mean government.
Why don't they tell us the truth?
What's the worst that could happen? Oh, the mafia shot JFK or whatever, or Tupac's in New Zealand.
I guess there's like a scene in Men in Black where the character that Will Smith is playing learns for the first time that there's aliens on the planet, and who is this counter there?
Jenny.
Yeah. Okay. He's like, he kind of goes on that explanation. So, you know, imagine if the whole world knew the truth, you know, how people would freak out and stuff like that. And I think there might be some truth to that. You know, there's a joke, you know, if we started practicing honesty tomorrow, the stock market would crash, you know, like that kind of thing, you know. So there is a valid reason and purpose for all the lies and stuff, but I can't exactly say why it is. I don't know. I've asked that question with pretty much everybody I know. Like, well, what are we doing here? What is this thing that we are experiencing now? I think they know better than what they tell us, and I don't quite believe in what they, you know, the official story is. I don't know. Is it just nothingness? Is this, you know, I kind of feel like somebody created this realm and you know, we're experiencing this for some reason, but what that truth is to that, I don't know. And maybe if we did know, humans would react in a bad way or something. I can only speculate. I don't know why they would lie, but
what do you think, Molly?
Sure.
It's in line with what tonight's show. I mean,
we're kind of acting in a bad way already. I guess I'm one of those people that even if it is all based off of nothing, that nothing is holding this up, then like rip off the Band-Aid. I'm a real big believer in just being super out there with whatever it is, the good, the bad, or the ugly. And if it causes people to riot, they're already rioting. If it causes people to just like get rabid and crazy, like they're already doing that. Like, at least if we can acknowledge that the emperor has no clothes, the parade might be over, but then we can go on with our lives. And the quality of our life is going to be so much better. And we don't have to pretend that the emperor has some like golden fucking coat on that like nobody sees. And we're just not allowed to talk about it. Like, I just think.
If I was to actually believe that, you know, like, I don't know, this life isn't exactly what we're told. And maybe it's like a video game, you know, you're not going to die. You'll just be reborn or whatever. You know, if people had that kind of belief in rebirth and that kind of thing and believed in something after this life, they might live their life a little bit differently than they do now. You know, there was one study they did about breaking they put all these rats in a confinement, but they
Mouse
gave
Utopia.
The Mouse Utopia or the Rat Utopia, that project. And when they put them all together in a tiny spot, it kind of broke their spirit. While they were still alive, they didn't really they had lost that what was natural to them. And I kind of wonder, is that what they did to us? You know, have they, you know, removed so much of what we should be living and, you know, kind of broken the human spirit? I don't know. I don't think you can break it, but it's hard to know.
I think Mouse Utopia was more about city folk. Like you're not supposed to all live the way they live, like on top of each other. I think after a certain amount, we need to kind of spread out and separate. But I do think they tried to break us with COVID, and it's like Molly said, had they just told us the truth, dude, we know the truth. The ones who want to live like this, here's my thing: just let the ones who like this crazy crap, let them do that stuff. Because you've got the Candace Owens types, and you've got the whoever else's types. She's going to ask questions, and she's going to seek the truth. And for whatever anybody says about Charlie Kirk, that dude wanted the truth or spread the truth. Like, that's where he operated. And I think the three of us agree, disagree, whatever. I think the three of us are, for lack of a better word, truthers. And our audiences too.
I think I'm an ultra truther. I think, Chris, I like what you're saying. I think that worked generations ago. When we had more delayed gratification and we felt like I can live a full life going towards this single goal of going to heaven or whatever it is. But now we're in such a like dopamine mindset that you need that instant gratification. And like, you know, if I'm not going to be skinny tomorrow, I might as well eat the pizza today. And this is how we think. Like, yeah, marriage, kids, all that shit, that's for adulthood. Tonight, I'm going to go get syphilis from some girl on fucking Tinder. Like, we've really just, we're so instantaneous. And
Yeah, sorry. I'm sorry.
that's okay. If cause and effect was instantaneous, the entire world would change. But it's not. And so you are eating right every day to maybe be healthier in a year and not take those blood pressure medication. Or you are saving your pennies every day so that if your HVAC goes out, you might not need to sell pictures of your feet on the internet or whatever. Like, we really are this like instantaneous comfort, instantaneous. And that's the problem, because bad guys don't have instant karma anymore. They used to, and we flip-flopped that. You used to drag them into the town square, and they would have some instantaneous karma.
Well, we still do in certain parts of the world, for sure. You might find yourself on fire for shoplifting in certain countries. You know what I mean? They do not mess around. It's only here in America where we've gotten to the point where we're like, oh, hey, yeah, you got what? You know, multiple arrests and everything, and you know, violent criminal. Yeah, we'll just let you back out in the street. That don't happen in other places in the world. They won't ever make it to jail.
But I mean, America sort of sets trends for other places, and you do see other places going to hell right now. My friend lives in London, and I worry about her every moment, and see so many videos coming out of there and Scotland and all over the place. And if karma was instant, we would all be better behaved, but it really is the weak-minded person. And that's why I think things like delayed gratification is something that we really need to foster in ourselves and in the youth, because that is the lost art that has really changed society. What has made these active shooters is that I'm going to be famous. I'm going to be on the internet. It's this ego, it's this narcissism combined with nihilism, and like it's ruining us, totally pickling us. Pammy wanted to change the subject and said, y'all, the Rob Reiner situation is so sad, but I'm not going to lie, Trump's statement about Rob Reiner was insensitive for the time.
Molly, may I?
Yep.
What's her name? Who said that?
Pammy on YouTube.
Amy, I 1000% agree with you. And I think our audience tunes into the show because we call all balls and strikes. I also think one of my biggest complaints with Trump in his first term was, dude, you don't have to say something to everything. The Reiner thing, now people who support him, I'm looking on Instagram, they're busy defending him. And here's the thing with, one thing I like with conservatives, they're like, no, that was wrong. And I'm not going to do the whole whataboutism. Well, what about when Biden said deplorables or whatever he said? Short answer, Pammy, I 1,000, 1,000,000% agree with you.
I'd go further and say it wasn't insensitive. It was disgusting.
Chris?
Did you see it, Chris?
I did not see Trump's comment. I do know that he said something that was insensitive, but then there was also the argument of I guess Rob Reiner had said something bad about another celebrity or something, and so it was
Rob Reiner has said disgusting things for years. It's who he was.
Yeah.
And he said a lot of really, what Pammy's saying, trashy things, and visceral, violent. He tweeted a lot.
But you
and
I think it's okay to say something like that when a person's alive and can defend themselves. If you want to, speak poorly of somebody, but once they're dead and can no longer say anything, you should just let it be.
Chris, you and I are movie guys. I saw some movie, some warriors, and one guy killed the other guy. Like, you're not going to celebrate and do all this other stuff. He said no. He said now I also lose because I'm showing everybody I've defeated him, and now I'm starting down to his level. It's like the one thing I did like with the Charlie Kirk thing was when these people celebrated, it showed what Molly just said. It's disgusting. It's insensitive. It's inappropriate. It's disgusting. Whether he's in New Zealand or whatever, you don't go online and dance. It's just disgusting. That's the word I'll leave it in.
Yeah, I think it would be disgusting for any of us to post it, but for the leader of our country to post it, I think it's dangerous. Like, here we are saying, like, oh my gosh, we have these like violent, people that have been radicalized that are taking craziness into their own hands. And it's like, but our own leader is saying like depraved, nasty, ambulance chasing fucking trash. And I don't know. I don't know if you call me black-pilled. And it really started with the whole Epstein thing. Are we still talking about that guy? Like, I can't get over that. And I don't know that I'm ever going to be like fully MAGA ever again. I'm very America first. But like, what the hell? Like his trolling. Did you see all those pictures like down that hallway with their accolades? And then instead of a picture of Biden, it's got a picture of the auto pen. Like all the trolling, like maybe not appropriate for the White House, but it's funny. And I like a good roast. So it's all good. And Joe Biden is still alive, I guess, to defend himself, Chris. So if Joe Biden was dead, I don't know if you would still think that was funny. I would probably think it was.
I'd argue that he can't defend himself. The auto pen might be able to fight back for him, but
depends who's at the helm. His son was apparently schizophrenic, but also abused drugs with his medication, which made his behavior even more dangerous. So he's going to plead the insanity defense. Wasn't there one where the guy was taking some like Ritalin or something?
Adderall or Ritalin or both.
Adderall. I think you're right. Adderall, Chris.
Yeah.
And I don't know, because we know that even marijuana has a bigger percentage of people that get schizophrenia, especially if they start marijuana early in life. And so the schizophrenia could have been just from the drugs. And then you add more drugs to the schizophrenia. And a lot of those drugs have a lot of side effects. And I don't know. I wonder what he thinks about what he did now, if he's sad about it. Because on one hand, like, yeah, he was a shitbag. He was a shitbag for a lot of years. And but I have to think that his parents were also bankrolling his lifestyle. And so as a drug addict, you don't want to stop the money coming because you're going to sober up real quick. But
well, he's TV show celebrity. Shut up, meathead. Like, that's your dad? And on a human level, like, Molly, you know this. You're like, oh, you're in Virginia again. Think you're your dad. I couldn't enter my mind to hurt my parents. Like, my dad has never heard me curse, raise my voice, argue with him. For me to go into his room and again, allegedly, do what they're accusing this guy of. That's the world we live in, Molly. Immediate. What do you call it? Immediate gratification.
Yeah, immediate gratification kind of.
Immediate. Yeah. And I get my way. I want my way. And my parents.
These drugs though that they're giving kids even for ADHD and that kind of thing are borderline schizophrenic drugs. You know, they cause hallucinations and wild mood swings, sleeplessness, all kinds of stuff. When a kid starts on that and on what I call kitty meth, and then they wind up going to the heavier stuff, you're going to wind up like this. So he winds up on a cocktail of drugs, and then he's mixing them for different effects, along with illicit street drugs and other stuff. And yeah, it doesn't take much when you're already near that level to push you over the edge. And obviously, you have to have some seriously bad mental problems to turn on your whole family and just start killing people and stuff.
And Chris, not even as a cop, working like security, I'm walking around LA and I'm looking at these people and I'm like, and I don't want anybody to take this wrong way, but they're normal. And when I say normal, I mean they look like they're coming to Christmas with us, and they're bent over and their brains are fried. And I go, whatever system did this to you is unjust. Like, it's completely evil. However, the drugs got from there to you, completely wrong. And I'm like, that's somebody's brother, son, whatever the heck.
I do want to say real quick, you brought that up. You know, we're making all this noise about Venezuela right now. We're about to start a war with Venezuela over these drug cartel boats and stuff. I just want to remind everybody that right after we went into Afghanistan and Pakistan and took over all the opium production, that this country suffered a opium epidemic, or opiate. That's the drugs that those are derived from. So it's no wonder, we go over and take over the production, and it comes back here and haunts us here in America. So, that's why we got suicide at an epic rate and everything.
Oh yeah, Vietnam, like all of the opium, and CIA with all of the nonsense they did with it's so disgusting. It's like, if we all do better, we're going to be good. Because here's what these elites don't understand. Like, you really want to be driving around with your 18-man security detail because you've messed the whole planet up and turned it into dystopia? Like, if you're in the cartels and you're like in maybe TJ or whatever, I don't get to go out and eat dinner by myself like our celebrities or elites. I have to be in there with 9 of my guys at another table and 18 guys outside. Like, how's that? I don't know. Maybe you want your $1 trillion and 46 cents. So
I don't understand it either. They have this huge apparatus which they use to, commit all these kind of crimes and everything. And you just wonder to yourself, what would have happened if they would have took that energy, time, and focus and went the other way with it, try to help improve humanity and do better things? We'd be in a lot different place. But, and again, I don't understand quite why this world works the way it does. It almost seems like a purgatory or something to me. This is like a temporary hell or getting judged or something. I don't know what it is, but definitely seems that way. I mean, all the, wrong people in power.
I wouldn't mind anything you just said if it was like, it doesn't have to be this way. You've got your $100 billion. What are you guys doing?
Yeah.
I need 46 cents from Molly.
Yeah, Rod says the similarities between the lead up to Afghanistan and the lead up to Venezuela are almost identical. And that kind of brings us back to Candace Owens, because the Mitch guy that she just had on yesterday's show, he just came off a 35-year silence order because he was instrumental in discovering the biggest drug tunnels under the border. And as they went to the other side to find out where these tunnels go, found a bunch of pictures of U.S. military on the Mexican side in that tunnel room where it comes out. So that's how they knew that our guys, our military, were facilitating all this cocaine coming up through the Mexican border. And they put them on a 35-year gag order, which just ended. So then he goes down to go get a copy of his reports because it didn't just end. They have been following him, breaking into his house, terrorizing his family for decades. And so he just wanted some like closure to get copies of the reports because our U.S. military, he believes, leaked his personal information to the cartel, which is why he's had to change his name. And so it's a whole wild story that this guy has behind him. So then he pulls up at Fort Huachuca to just go get a copy of his freaking report. And then he sees like potentially Erika Kirk with a bunch of congressmen like colluding some bullshit the day before Charlie Kirk dies. And like Candace says, she's like, you got some really bad luck. So that's all sort of circular. I can't wait to see where this goes, though. I really am. Go Max, Candace. I am really fighting for you. I applaud your bravery and with a splash of cuntiness that is chef's kiss. Just love it. And anybody else that wants to come up with other ideas of what happened or that substantiate the Fed slop. I'm okay with that too. But right now the Fed slop is like pretty sloppy.
Yeah, that's bad. Deliberately bad in my opinion.
Yeah, I did want to say something to the audience. The cartel is not what you guys see on Hollywood. They are that local mechanic, a lawyer. They're in infrastructure and stuff like that. And I do believe what Molly said with the whole military part of it, because like Molly and I were just cops and they would have an area and they're like, we need to stop crime in this area. And I'm like, if we can do that, there's the technology and our military, there's nothing we can do. Well, we can't stop people in LA from getting, yeah, okay. All right.
Yeah. Maybe we need to do a show and talk about predictive policing and how LAPD enables that. That might be blow that open. Successful border traffic needs operatives on both sides to be in on it. Yep. Yeah. And they had pictures. They knew. So, well, we're at the 2-hour mark almost. Any closing thoughts?
Oh, go ahead, Chris.
Go ahead. You first.
Again, the only reason that I keep apologizing because I know I just went off into the weeds, but the Candace stuff, I think, right, wrong, whatever, I applaud her. I applaud because I just remember in the middle of from 2020 to 2024, I just remember everybody online. Why won't somebody do something? Why won't somebody do something? Here's the thing: you can't lean out your door to the Civil War and shoot your niece with the blue hair or kidnap a guy with a MAGA hat. What you have to do is what Candace is doing, what Charlie Kirk did, what Tucker is doing. Heck, even on the left, speak. Oh, your ideas are wrong. They're crappy. Chat. If I'm full of crap, go ahead and put it in there. I don't agree with that Randy guy. Cool. So next time I start talking, I'm not going to say the wrong thing. So my thing is I applaud you guys for asking questions and stating your views. Yeah.
Chris?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, my bad.
I guess my opening thought is going to be kind of the same thing as I've talked before, and that was you would just love it if people could drop the TDS and forget about it. And it comes in two flavors. It's on both sides. Just if you hate your family because of who's in political office, even at the governor level, you just don't understand how our government works, and you shouldn't. You shouldn't hate family, relatives, or anybody over it, because it doesn't matter at the end of the day. It doesn't run like that at all. And I know that kind of breaks the left-right paradigm, which most of us have molded ourselves into, and we either fit on one side of that or the other. But I promise you, as somebody who has studied it for many years, at the top, it doesn't make any difference. And so please don't, fret too much about what somebody says online, or, like a president being unpresidential or anything. It doesn't matter. If you can understand that Joe Biden clearly wasn't running anything or doing anything during his presidency, and obviously he wasn't. He was just a stand-in. That's all Trump really is too. And I'm sorry if that offends you. I love you all. Just don't hate each other over who's in the office. That's all I got to say.
Oh, I'm sorry. I do have one more thing to say. There's a little bit of house cleaning. Molly usually does this. Audience, you guys are welcome on the show. This is our show, the chat, everybody. And I know Molly's like, well, why are you doing it? Because I have something to add. If you have a family member, like what Chris just said, that's a leftist, a liberal, a progressive, super MAGA, tell them, hey, there's a show and you're welcome to go on. We talk for 2 hours and we over, whatever.
I could bridge the gap. I'm pretty sure you give me enough time. I'll put enough information in front of somebody. I think I could change their mind.
Yep.
Unless they're just absolutely, dug in and they're not going to see it any other way. There are those people out there, but if there is a way, a path in at all, you can, just enough common sense will do it.
Okay.
Circle of One says, threaten your viewers to like the video. Yeah, you guys, we don't get paid shit for doing this. Although, look, Rod sent me a little tip and I bought some actual earbuds. So I'm super fancy. I don't know if these are going to go in a museum. They don't have any blood on them, but they're broken pieces of garbage that I'm going to keep them because I'm cheap like that. And also, once I put these on, I electrocuted myself like 4 times. Randy, you were tased in the police academy. You were not tased in the ears. So I think I win that one. Guys, thank you. Pammy always holding it down over on YouTube, and boys in the chat over on Rumble, and Super Biatch with the alien twerking butt emotes that I love so much. You make me very happy.
I hate that the Rumble chat isn't available afterwards. You don't get to see a replay.
You can pop it out in the chat and you can check it out.
You have to go to Rumble real quick for it ends so I can see the emotes.
and pop it out. Yeah, the emotes are basically hand curated. Well, it's almost Christmas, so we'll talk to you after Christmas, and hopefully send me pictures of your worst gifts that you get. I love it. I want to see them. Molly Sleuth at Gmail. Or if you want to talk about anything that we've talked about, come on the show. Roast me personally. Roast me in the comments. Like, I'm open for it. We do this for you. I wouldn't have to put on lipstick to just call Randy on the phone. So Merry Christmas to you too, Pammy. Love you guys, and we will see you next week.
See you.
See you.